Hi everyone, good evening. And my name is Geethu Krishnaswamy. I'm working in Rangle for past 2 years, 4 months, and this is my first presentation in Rangle. So I'm working as Agile Quality Analyst in Rangle, but I have worked as a manual tester, but recently I started learning development. So I started with JavaScript, HTML, CSS, then I jumped into React. So like that, I started with development. So I'm here to speak about snapshot testing. So as we all know that React is a popular JavaScript library, like we used to build UIs. So when the apps become more larger and complex, it is increasingly challenging to check our UI manually. So that time it's really helpful to have testing done. Like it is like having our back covered while we busy building stuffs. And this plus by using this testing we can keep our code more stable and reliable, which is more important because it's super important because when it actually goes wild. So when our app goes wild, if we are not testing it properly, then that's a big loss for our company. So like that, when I was researching, when I was in 1.5 years before, I was in a project where they didn't have much funding. So we were trying to find out what were the open source tools which we can do while we get the permission to use the big frameworks like Cypress and Chromatic and all for the visual regression. That time, we didn't have much time, we need to start our testing. That time we found out that snapshot testing. So till we got our approvals, we were doing our visual regression testing by using snapshot testing. That's why I thought of speaking about this, because nowadays, as we all know that most of the company, they are not putting testers in the project. So developers are finding more difficult in doing everything by their own. So since we have some open source packages like this, we can utilize it to make our visual regression testing smooth before we get approval stuffs and all. So let's start with the snapshot testing. So I have created here a flowchart which explains how snapshot testing works. So at first we run the test, and if there is a snapshot, well and good. If there is no snapshot is available for the first time, the test will pass by creating a new snapshot. So if there is a snapshot and it will find the difference, when we run the test again, it will find the difference, and then if there is a difference, the test will get failed. If there is no difference, the test will get passed. This is the simple algorithm of snapshot testing. So the comparison process I have already told you, when we run the test for the first time, it will create a snapshot folder in our project root. So whenever we run the test again and again, this results will be, we will be saving our base image. So all the tests, whenever we run, the current image will be compared with the base image, and if there is any minute difference, it will alert the developer saying there is a difference, there is a change in the UI, and it will fail the test. So developer can easily go and check where the change has happened. If it is an intended change, they can update the snapshot to use for the future. So like this, the comparison will be happening, and so snapshot testing and its importance. So it's always identify the UI change and saving the time. So I already told you, since we are in a busy world and we don't have much time to develop the stuffs again and again and finding errors and all. So this snapshot testing, it will act like a safety net, we can say, like it will catch all the changes which is happening, and it will let the developer know that there is some change. So like that, we can easily identify the changes which we have made in our code by using snapshot testing. So in that case, like if there are some situation where we are making, refactoring our code or rearranging something for better, that time they can easily run the snapshot testing and find if recent changes had broken our UI. So like this, we can, if there is a change, if there is a recent change happen, if before it become a big issue, developer can fix it. If there is no change happen, then we can be confident enough that nothing has broken the UI. And boosting the collaborating within team. So what I can say is this testing will act as a blueprint of our UI. So in case of any other teammates, if they want to do any changes, they can always go and check the base image which they have saved. Not the image, sorry, it's base snapshot. There is difference. So base snapshot which we have already saved. So like that, within the team, everyone can take the snapshot testing results as a blueprint. So before we run the test, we have to install the package. So how we are going to install the package? It's very simple. We have to just run the following command. Yeah, this command, npm install react-test-renderer space --save-dev. By simply running this command in our terminal, in our project, we are adding a React Test Renderer package as a development dependency to our project. So by using this, React Test Renderer, what it actually does with the snapshot testing, actually this React Test Renderer tool, it will pretend to show our component. We are not actually displaying this component in our browser. This React Test Renderer tool, it is helping us to pretend to show how the component is, and then this will be converted into a tree-like structure, tree-like representation. So this is how it works. So I can explain you better. So this is how it will be. So whenever we run our, sorry, I skipped one step. Like when, after installing this package in our project load, after here I have taken to-do app as an example. Since I already told you I started learning React recently, so this is my first project creating a to-do app, as I know that everyone in this room might have done to-do app at least once, because this is our learning app. So I thought of taking this app as an example, and I've created a form component here, and in this form component I have added a test file where it will do a basic check like whether the form is interactive. So in this, while creating this test file, we just need, since we have already installed our React Test Renderer package, we have to just import it in our test file. So if you see here that import renderer from React Test Renderer, this is what helping us to do the snapshot testing. So when we in this test file, I already told you I have just created a simple test case to check whether the form is interactive. And in the next slide, so when I ran the test for the first time, it has created a snapshot folder in our project component, and this snapshot folder, our test result will get saved in this format. This format is called as a JSON structure format, tree structure. We are calling it as a tree structure. So this results are getting saved in a tree structure, like in a serialized form. So this structure will be later, this is how it gets saved. So I already told you it is not saving a image. We are saving a JSON like JSON structure, like showing our component, like we are pretending to show our component. So that's how this presentation, like here I mentioned, it's a tree structure. And in this example, to fail the test, I have there is a button called add. So I add now. So I'm going to change that add now to add, and I'm going to save the file, and we are going to get the result. So there is one plus point in this snapshot testing. Once we start running, like npm run start, the test will start running in the background. So it will be always in a watch mode. So when we quit the test, then only this test will get quitted. Still we quit it, it will be always running in the background. So whenever we save any, like if there is any code change, and whenever we save our code, it will run in the background, and it will show if there is any difference, the test will fail like this. So here our difference is the add now button has been changed to add. Since it is an intended change, I want it to be like this. I want to save this as my base snapshot for going forward. That time I have to just press U to update the failed snapshot. So when I press the U key, it will update the failed snapshot as the current base snapshot. This is how the snapshot testing works. So when we press W, we can see what and all options are available to do with the current test. So this is how, and once we save our updated snapshot, and the test will again run automatically, saying us everything is passed. So this is the snapshot testing, how it works, and the best practice for snapshot testing is update the snapshot regularly, because as we all know that we will be always doing some changes to our component according to our user requirement or the design updates. That time equally important to update the snapshot. So like that we can be accurate about our results, and review the snapshot every time before we update it, because then we will get a clear picture like how the component was before we change it. And it's always good to follow and give a clear and descriptive name, because we always come to know by just seeing this name, our test will be more readable and understandable. So we will come to know that which part, if suppose the test is getting failed, we'll come to know that which part of test is getting failed. This is what snapshot testing. And as we all know that all the framework, all the technology we take, there are some pros and cons. Same like that, even snapshot testing also have pros and cons. I can always start with the positive thing. So pros, like it's easy to set up. As I told you, we have to just run the command in our terminal, then the packages get installed to our development dependency as a development dependency to our project, and easy to write and update. Whenever we save the test, we are getting rapid feedback like what has changed and what has not changed, and simplify the testing process. If we add this snapshot testing to our CI pipeline, whenever we run the pipeline, it will do a visual regression rapidly. So, and support refactoring. So that is the most important thing, like support refactoring. Whenever we do any changes and when we save, we will not be checking here and there, but below the terminal, you can see that the result, whether our test is whether our code is getting passed or not. Because if it is passed, we can be confident enough that our recent changes has not broken anything in the UI. And like it's not possible in TDD. As we all know that in test-driven development, we always create the test before we create the component. So here, once we build the component, then only we can recreate the test. That's one negative. And large snapshot files will create slow in running the test. The test will be pretty slow. And it will not show you the expected output, and it will just show you the pretended form of our component, and not suitable for the complex component with dynamic behavior, because whenever we take a snapshot in dynamic behavior, the the result will be always differ, because since it is a dynamic. So in those kind of component, it's better to avoid snapshot testing. But even you can use it by using some tools like mocking and serializing. These tools will help us to test with the complex component, dynamic behavior component. And since I have already covered the dynamic behavior component, so here testing the component behavior is not possible in snapshot testing, and this is just a visual regression testing. That's all about snapshot testing. I spoken a lot about it. And any questions?
First of all,
Hey, hi, thank you for that presentation. So I just want to ask, so how can snapshot testing help with refactoring code and maintaining consistency with the UI?
Hope you remember that I have added a point called safety net. So this snapshot testing will act as a safety net for our code. Whenever do any refactoring or rearranging the code, this test will capture the recent changes which is happening in our UI, and it will alert the developer. If there is a change, it will alert the developer saying that the recent refactoring had done some problem, so you can fix it. So that's how refactoring made it easy. Did I answer your question?
Yes, that's good.
Yes.
I'd love to hear a kind of bit of comparison between snapshot testing and sync unit testing or integration testing.
Yes, exactly. Like snapshot testing is a visual regression testing. This test can be added to our unit test, but unit testing is something like we are testing out the unit of code in an isolation. So it's totally different. We are not testing our component behavior. Here we are testing the look and look of our component. So unit testing and snapshot testing is different, but developer can use the snapshot testing in the unit test to find the visual regression difference of our UI.
Would you recommend
Look.
using them like together or one or the other? Or
Together. But always, yeah.
So a quick question. You mentioned like large snapshot files.
Yes.
Let's say you have a lot of pages that you take snapshots of. How would you handle like storing that, handling like large amounts of files that the folder itself might be really big? How do you manage like organizing that? How do you store it?
That's one of our cons here, because when the file become large, like we are using our personal like in our laptop personal memory to save the snapshots. So obviously it will create an issue while we run a test. The test will get stuck, or test will get slow. So this is the negative point of snapshot testing. Did I answer you?
If you do reach that situation, do you recommend is there something you recommend, or do we just not try to do more snapshots?
It's always better to go with
she's looking at me because we chatted about this earlier.
yeah, because we were working in one project like that. In that project only we used the snapshot testing. That time we tried to use shared memory, where we can save those snapshot files. We will take it as a backup and we'll keep it there. So later we can refer it. I'm not getting that term, like what was it? So we used it because this question was like asked by the client. Then we search for it and we use the shared drive to save it, so that even if I do any changes and if I change the base image, later on some other developer can also come and see it. Like if you want, I can let you know the tool name, like the shared drive which we used.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. So any questions? Okay, I think I thank you. So I think I added some point to your work life, and I'm happy that I got the opportunity to speak about something. And thank you so much for listening to me. Your time is valuable. Thank you.